Before, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be in Miami. I originally wrote this book, started writing it 3 years ago, and in the process, it was quite a journey. I lost my 30-year-old brother to melanoma, skin cancer. He would have been 32 this year. And I felt I had a moral obligation to, I make cosmetics that make people look amazing, and I'm responsible for this bronzy skin, and I'm like, okay, I have a responsibility to tell people that it's important to fake it. Closer? Yes, I will use the microphone. So I felt I had this moral obligation to tell everybody that it's important to fake it, as opposed to actually going in the sun. So, that's the first thing. So as I was saying, as luck would have it, or as God would have it, in the midst of writing this book, I get a call from Oprah Winfrey. I'm in the process of halfway photographing the book, and Make-A-Wish Foundation calls me and they said, can you do this project with us? We have 2 girls, and their last dying wish is to be photographed, like America's Top Model. So they call it Diana Barker from America's Top Model. So we all get there. And they tell me the night before, you have 2 girls. One girl's name is Destiny, and the other girl's name is Marley Canoa. Okay. We get there, they send me the pictures. Beautiful African-American girl, beautiful white girl. I get there, and Destiny's 16 and had 7 open heart surgeries already because she has a underdeveloped heart, and they have to continue on the surgery. Beautiful girl. We do these amazing pictures. And they hand me Marley. Marley stage 3 melanoma. I was like, okay, what are the odds that I would be faced with this? I said, okay, I'm listening. All right, so I look at Marley and I say, could you head up the skincare chapter of my book and tell your story? Because people think that melanoma is something that happens to people that are older, which is common, but now you're starting to get more into it. So I said, all right, let's talk about what you do and how you avoid skin cancer. It's very treatable. With my brother, he didn't tell anybody that he was having problems with his skin, so he only made it 9 months. And I said, you know what, let's talk about this. So hence the book. This is where it came from. So I went a little deeper. I'm like, okay, here I am. I work with the top celebrities in the world. Jennifer Lopez for 11 years, Celine Dion, Gwyneth Paltrow. Go down a list of people, and it's like, all right, I'm kind of like this makeup artist that creates an illusion of vanity. So what is the message that I'm sending? So I started digging a little deeper into myself, and I said, okay, let's talk about this book from the perspective of, we all love transformation. Everybody loves to see a transformation. I mean, remember Jenny Jones? I mean, you'd be glued. I mean, the show was horrible, but we loved the transformation. And then we would all be the judge, like, she looked better before. Why did they do that to her? And so I said, all right, I'm going to take 16 real women from all different walks of life, all different ages, all different ethnic backgrounds, and tell them to come to me as beautiful as they think they can be, and I'm going to transform them because this is what I do. I work with some of the most talented people in the world that are pretty, but maybe not models, so I have to make them extraordinary because they have extraordinary talent, whether it's dancing, singing, acting. That's my job. Cool job, right? So I was like, all right, I'm going to take these 16 real women, tell them to come to me as pretty as they think they can be, and we're going to make you amazing, and we're going to transform them. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, what are the transformation stories that we're all familiar with? Obviously Cinderella, right? So all the girls are like, I love Cinderella. And then I started thinking about it a little further, and I'm like, okay, then there's Gigi, which I love. This is one of my favorite films ever. And My Fair Lady. And then I said, okay, I started digging back towards Egypt. I was like, there's a transformation story in Egypt, nothing documented. And then I came across the story of Esther, which really moved me in the sense of, here's this girl, and I think this is the part that really moved me, is that we all have the ability to be the best possible versions of ourselves. And it's our fear that holds us back from this. So I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, here's this girl. She was the daughter of a goat herder. Probably had no money. Her parents both died. She was orphaned, went to go live with her uncle in Persia. And then, King Xerxes kicks out the queen, as luck would have it, and she's sitting there, and she gets rounded up with a bunch of other surrounding virgins. And for 9 months, she's basically a lady in waiting. So in that 9 months, she's decided to take it upon herself to groom herself, change the way she eats, change the way she looks, change the way way she walked, the way she talked. And in doing so, she captivated the king and becomes the queen. And in doing that, he has a decree to eliminate all the Jews. She's thinking to herself, okay, this man thinks that I'm not Jewish. How am I going to tell him because he loves me? And how am I going to change it? I have a moral obligation. Again, with this moral obligation thing. So she eventually tells him that I am Jewish. You can't kill my people because you said you love me. So if you love me, you can't eliminate all these people. So long story short, she then becomes a queen. He doesn't eliminate anybody. And he has a holiday Purim. And I started thinking, I'm like, okay, here's the parallel. She's finding favor with God. She found favor with the king. But in doing so, she used her beauty for purpose, as opposed to beauty for vanity's sake. And that was the message I needed to get out. That we have the ability to affect the people around us in a positive outcome. So everybody in the book is involved in some sort of foundation. They give back to the community. They work helping people that are homeless and old people and young people and, rape victims like Marisha Harkite, who has a wonderful foundation called Joyful Heart Foundation, which I'm very involved in with her. And I really felt that this message needed to be out there, beyond the transformation, beyond the technique. What do we do when we have a voice, when we have a faith? People are going to listen to you. So the first woman I chose here in the book is Catherine Albright. She is a private